Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Talking with Our Traders, a Caesar Sportsbook original series. This is where we sit down with our very own Caesar Sportsbook traders and dive deep into everything NFL and college football. Whether you're looking for insider insights or just want to hear what the pros have to say, you've come to the right place. Let's get into it. I'm your host, Cindy Edwards, and with me today, as always, is Craig Mucklow, Vice President of Trading here at Caesar Sportsbook.
Hello there.
And Joey Fiesel, Head of Football here at Caesars.
Hello, everybody.
Hey guys, let's dive into some college football. Joey, better conference, SEC or Big Ten?
I think it's the SEC, and I think it's pretty clear. We got the two big dogs at the top of the Big Ten with Oregon and Ohio State, and then there's a decent drop-off with Penn State and Indiana to follow. On the SEC side, you have Georgia, Texas, but not really that much far after. You got Ole Miss, Bama, Tennessee, LSU. The mid-tier SEC is just much better, much more competitive, with even Vanderbilt catching people's eyes, getting in the top 25 this week. I think on a whole, my numbers, I have the SEC 13 points better than the average college football team compared to the Big Ten, averaging only 9 points better. Craig?
Craig, would you agree?
Yeah, I'm impressed with that. I just looked at the SEC has 9 ranked teams. The Big Ten has 5, but the Big Ten still has the defending champion of Michigan.
Oh, okay.
They have the number 1, the number 3, and the number 4 best teams in the country. And I'm biased because I got to visit the Big Ten headquarters in Chicago a few years ago. They treated me like royalty. That place is a museum. It's gorgeous. So I'm biased, Big Ten.
Biased Big Ten. Okay.
All right, I like it. Joey, predict the conference winners from the Power Four.
For SEC, I got Georgia. They had their one loss at Alabama. They're not going to let it happen again. I think they win out, and they find themselves playing LSU or Texas to get the SEC title. Big Ten, I got Ohio State, the revenge game against Oregon. I still think Ohio State's the better team, and they're going to prove it on a neutral site versus Oregon as opposed to being in Oregon. ACC, I got Clemson. I think this team's quietly dominating and have not been in the spotlight since that number 1 Georgia lost, week 1. I think Miami is shown to be vulnerable in many spots this season. Give me the Tigers versus the Hurricanes in the ACC championship. And then the Big 12, here's my surprise, BYU to get it done. I think this team is special. I think they have some real TCU vibes from like 2 years ago where they just, it doesn't have to make sense, but they're just putting up points. They had a lucky probably win this last Saturday. The market steamed against them with UCF this current week, but I still think they're going to get it done. I think it's going to be them and Iowa State, which is going to be a very interesting game because it's going to be a very good offense versus a very good defense, which are always fun games to watch.
I only agreed with one of those. Georgia, obviously. It doesn't take a genius to pick that one. ACC, I said Miami at the start of the season. I'm not changing my ticket. Okay. I'm sticking with it. End of. That's just probably stubbornness more than anything. Big 12, I went Iowa State.
Okay.
Yeah. And Big 10, I went with a price, Penn State.
Oh, okay. That is, yeah.
Quietly going about the business.
They are quietly going.
Perfect. Which 4 teams will be the last standing in the college football playoff, Joey?
Georgia, LSU, Oregon, Ohio State will be the
Ooh.
last 4.
I like it.
I like the LSU pick.
Me too.
I didn't go that deep. I just thought, who's going to be the last team standing? And it's going to be Georgia.
I like that.
They were mightily impressive on Saturday.
Yeah, very. Coming from someone who picked against them. You're
allowed to get one wrong.
Right. Let's get into some game previews. Texas versus Vanderbilt. Texas is no longer undefeated after their double-digit home loss to Georgia last weekend. What should we expect from this matchup, Joey?
Well, here we are again. Who thought we'd get 2 Super Bowls in 1 year for Vanderbilt? But Vanderbilt's going to face against the Longhorns at home, and you better believe Diego Pavia will have some spark as he did against Alabama. One thing that's going to be different this time, Texas won't be sleeping on Vandy. They saw what happened to Alabama. They don't want that to happen to them, especially after that embarrassing loss to Georgia.
Good point.
Vanderbilt not getting much love on the spread. We've seen it gone up from 18 to 19. So obviously the sharper folks are seeing that Texas is going to be want to be extra oppressive in this game, especially against Vandy. I almost wanted to make this game my upset play of the week, but just don't have it in me. I think Vanderbilt, though, can cover and would love to see it. And this is a get-right game for Texas, so we'll see.
Yeah, Texas got their welcome to the SEC moment last week. No surprise, they're hanging a big amount of points. Vandy's played well. I've traded a couple of Vandy games, and I've watched the Alabama game at the end. they've had their Super Bowl. They've had their marquee win. Everybody's given them so much love. And when you get so much love, it comes crashing back down to earth. So I like Texas in this one. I mean, they won't be sleeping, as Joey said.
No, they won't
Right.
be.
And look, they lost to a very, very good team last week.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, next up, number 20, Illinois versus number 1, Oregon. Joey, break it down for us.
Fighting Illini are coming into this game as a sneaky 6-1 team. Line opened up at Oregon minus 21.5. It's where we sit today. Oregon's one of those teams that really aren't trying to run up the score. So I kind of lean Illinois here. Luke Altmaier, the Ole Miss transfer acquired last year, has been solid for this team all year. Obviously Oregon's at their peak right now, being AP number 1. But give me the Fighting Illini to kind of fight till the very end in Eugene, Oregon.
Yeah, I agree with that. Illinois 6-1, 2 of those wins are in OT. They've struggled to beat the lower level of the ranked teams. Penn State was their only loss, and they found the end zone once. Big step up in class here for Illinois against the number 1 team. Weather will be a factor in this game. Oregon have, Illinois as the last ranked opponent, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
So they control their own destiny now.
Yep.
All right. Next up, number 14, Texas A&M welcomes number 8, LSU in a battle of teams undefeated in conference. Joey, what should we expect from this one?
Another great matchup in the SEC. Both teams undefeated in SEC play, and they both suffered a week 1 loss, and they've bounced back and won every one since. I think LSU has the leg up on this one. This team, I believe, comes out on top. The line is heading in that direction. After opening up 3, now down to a strong 2.5.
Yep.
Heisman watch as well in this game, especially if Nussmeier has a really good game and shows out. I think that should be on people's radar.
You've said everything I've got here. LSU have been quietly going about their business since the week 1 loss.
That's a good point.
We thought USC might be a very good team. It's proving maybe not. But it's obviously you're in a different conference, a different style of play. It's tougher. Both lost their openers. Texas have the easiest schedule, and they're in the same side of the conference, if I remember correctly. So only one of them can make the SEC championship.
Oh, no, it's everybody now. Now they got rid of divisions.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do my homework better. I just feel that the path to the SEC title game goes for the winner here. Mm-hmm. It's more for A&M. LSU's been impressive.
They have been.
Yeah. Which team is on upset alert this weekend, Craig?
Managed to find a loser last week. Northwestern did not do the business, and we needed them. I've got Utah on the road to Houston. 7% value on the spread, 14% value on the money line. That's my pick of the week.
I got Fresno State is on upset alert against San Jose State. You're going to learn the name Nick Nash if anybody watches this game this week.
Okay, we'll keep an eye out. Let's move into some NFL. Guys, when will the Chiefs lose their first game of the season? And let's talk about that addition of DeAndre Hopkins.
DeAndre Hopkins is over the moon, I can tell you that.
Yeah, it's a pretty good landing spot.
Yeah, definitely.
There's no worse place. And he's got a quarterback throwing the ball to him that will be within 10 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah, big time. Where will they lose their first game? Call me crazy, but give me the Denver Broncos, Week 10.
I like that, actually.
If the narrative reigns true that the Chiefs are being held up by their defense, well, they're going to have to play another really tough defense in Patrick Surtain. I think it'll be similar to a Jets Broncos game where it's just back and forth, one possession. I think Broncos will get the field goal at the end and win it.
Isn't that like an odd score game last year? It was like 19-12 or something.
Yeah,
Like
is
it a
Denver didn't catch
scoregami?
Not quite, I don't think. I had to because I cheated. Week 11, Orchard Park in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But the week before is the Denver game, and maybe you've got one eye on Buffalo.
Not that, yeah.
So that's why I had Denver.
That's
I
another
did
angle.
see that teams that start 6-0 historically do not make the Super Bowl. Do we think the Chiefs could break that?
No, I think they're making the moves right now. Obviously, you go for D-Hop.
Yeah.
You realize that you need a receiver to kind of – so they're going to make that push. And it's weird because this team's already won 2 Super Bowls in a row, so they're really not usually in their cards for kind of making that push. But it shows that they want to be for real. So, and, you know, again, Mahomes hasn't played great. I think we're going to get to that later. But the team's just got it. They just week in and week out, they put the other team on skates, it feels like.
Yeah.
Champions find a way to win.
Yep.
Right. Which team on the reverse will finish the season with the worst record? We have a couple teams playing right now.
I spent far too long on this. Betting wise, we've got 4 teams within 1 win. Over or under, you've got the Titans and the Browns at 4.5 wins on Caesar Sportsbook, and then the Panthers and the Patriots at 3.5. The Panthers and the Patriots are the lowest of my 2 wins on my predicted win total. So I got the Pats at 3.5 wins. I got the Panthers at 2.5. Both are under both under 3.5 are plus money on the sportsbook right now. So I think there's still value to be had on betting both of them. One thing you've got to take into account as well is be mindful of the Week 18 potential gimme game where they're playing a team that I think the Patriots have got the Bills last week, and the Bills will be resting because they already won the division.
Right.
Then I looked at, okay, who's got the toughest schedule? So the Titans have got an extra game to play. The Browns have the hardest schedule. They have combined 27 losses of their remaining opponents, and they've only got the Saints on the road as the worst team. And then the Patriots have got 2 winnable games, the Jets and the Titans the next 2 weeks. Both have 5 losses, then it gets really tough for the Patriots. And then the Panthers have the Saints and the Giants. I'm going to go with the Panthers.
All right, I like it. Joey?
I was between 2 teams. Right now, I have the Pats by a small margin just because I think they just don't have enough, and they're just in that very early stage of rebuilding. It was going to be the Browns, but they're putting in famous Jameis this week, and they did not want to put him in because they know he's not going to tank for them. No. He's going to go out, he's going to play ball, team's going to rally around him, they're going to win more games than the owner wants them to win or the GM wants them to win. So as I expect, I think the Pats will get the number 1 pick. And I think what they're going to do with that, they've already got their quarterback.
Yeah, clearly.
They're going to try to replicate what the Bears did.
Trade out. Which is always good.
Yeah, Craig loves that.
It's Craig's favourite
That's
move.
Craig's special.
But the Patriots, I've seen enough of the Patriots where I think they compete. They were 10-0 up on Sunday morning.
Yeah.
They compete, and then it just all falls apart for them. It doesn't help that the coach is calling it the players already.
That's
the soft. Did you see Bill Belichick came out too,
came
kind of defending the players? Yeah,
exactly.
A lot. That's actually been in the media a lot.
Yep.
It's a division of some sort. But does Russell Wilson give the Steelers a better chance to win the Super Bowl than Justin Fields?
Yeah, I believe they do because Russ can throw the ball. An element that really Justin Fields doesn't have. I mean, when Justin Fields was in, they were still winning games. But I think Steelers have a great defense, and they can certainly use Mr. Unlimited to extend the playbook, give the Steelers a real fighting chance in the AFC. With something that I didn't expect. I thought this team was not going to be good. You got 2 quarterbacks, you got none, but they're finding ways.
Yeah, I had them to be the last team to win a game, remember?
Yeah.
I'm never questioning Mike Tomlin ever again. As much as I love Mike Tomlin, I apologise right now. Steelers look the complete package on Sunday. Or did Justin Fields deserve to lose the starting job? No, because you had a winning record. But the offense moved, clicked. The wide receivers get more involved in the game.
Yeah.
He's not as mobile as Fields, obviously, but he did get out of it. But the Steelers' key to success this year is that defense. And they looked really good Sunday, and we were all Steelers fans on Sunday night. I can assure you that big time.
Yeah, they looked good.
Yeah.
Who is more likely to make the playoffs, the 49ers or the Cowboys?
I mean, math-wise, it's not really close.
No, it's not.
We get the Cowboys plus 180 to make the playoffs, suggesting a 34% chance. 49ers minus 160, suggesting a 60% chance.
Oh.
49ers obviously have gone into phase 2 of the Super Bowl hangover. Now losing Ayuk is going to be noticed, but the 49ers have 99 problems, and the Cowboys ain't one. So give me the 49ers to get it done on Sunday.
Yeah, I have the Cowboys projected at 6.5 wins, which is not great. That doesn't get you in the playoffs.
Right.
The 49ers bang on 9.5, which is what we have on the website right now. But Joey's right. The math tells you plus 180, minus 160. The 49ers are getting the Super Bowl hangover. But injuries ravage teams. But they're still there. They're not out of it. And
you got CMC coming around
Dallas
the corner.
Dallas has got to go to San Francisco. CMC will get healthy. They're not pressing the panic button anytime soon.
No.
All right, so we're all buying the 49ers.
Yeah.
Perfect. Favorite week 8 game for the total to go under? We call this the Craig special. Craig, kick it off.
All right, Joey. Is Tua worth 2 touchdowns?
No.
No. Miami averaged 33 points per game, with 21 of those from the opponents. Worst offense in the league. In Tua's both starts this year, Miami went under and only scored 15 points per game. They scored 20 against the Jags, 10 against the Bills. And this line is now 46.5 because Tua's come back. No.
So it's a large overreaction.
Monstrous.
Yeah. Okay.
And we'll find out today if he gets activated.
Right.
You bet the under 46.5 for a number of reasons. One, is he coming back? 2, he's going to be ring rusty anyway. And 3, they haven't scored with him when he was in the team. So I can't understand why this is 10 points more than what I make it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm interested to see how this game goes.
This is going to fly
out. Probably.
No, I like it. Joey.
I got the Saints and Chargers under 40. Saints, again, dealing with injuries. Derek Carr's probably not going to go. The Chargers, they just play the hardball ball, right? You're going to run the ball. You're going to take that time of possession. It's going to limit the chances. The only thing is, will Spencer Rattler throw and pick inside his own red zone, which is the problem, but I'll be comfortable just taking the under 40 in that one.
I loved that game Monday. That was my favorite of the 2 games.
So the Chargers-Arizona one? Yeah. It was ugly. Yeah,
it was ugly.
It's definitely a Craig game for sure.
Craig loves an ugly game. All right, favorite week 8 game for the total to go over. We call this the public special. Joey, start us off.
I think it's the Commanders and Bears. I know Jaden's probably not going to play, but that didn't stop Mariota. Granted, it was the Panthers, but I think just this Kingsbury offense, the Bears coming off the bye, they're going to be more prepared on offense. The Commanders' defense is not that great, even though they seem to kind of limit the damage each week. They're still not that great. So I think combine that, it should be pretty easy going over 43 in that one.
Mariota was no mug. He
No.
can play.
No.
And what's your point difference on Mariota and Daniels?
I had like 1.5 points. The market's seeing 3 to 4. I disagree with that. So I do lean Commanders a little bit more, but what stopped me there is the Bears coming off the bye and being able to prepare.
I'm not going to disagree with Joey on that rating. For me, the Giants Steelers over 36.5 on Monday night. Monday night games are 7-3 over this year, averaging 53 points per game almost. It's the book's worst nightmare every Monday. You don't want an over on a Monday and a favourite because of all the parlay money running on. Pittsburgh hung 35 alone on Sunday night. Okay, that was against New York. And they get a New York team again. Last year, Dallas played the Jets and Giants back-to-back weeks, and they hung 70 across the 2 teams, and Pittsburgh are halfway there. So 35, the total's 36.5. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, for sure. Pick an NFL upset in week 8.
Have you seen the spreads this week?
Yeah, they're ginormous.
Yeah. We're certainly going to need an upset in the morning because the last 3 weeks, the morning games have gone 15-1 straight up for the favourites. Yeah. Assuming that the Colts and the Bears, because they closed dogs, but they were favourite most of the week. Tremendous run for the betting public. This is not an inspiring choice. This didn't take long. I've got the Commanders over the Bears because of Mariota is not 3 or 4 points different to Jaden Daniels.
Right.
I was keen on the Bucks and Falcons over, and I liked them a few weeks ago. The Bucks over the Falcons. I did like the Bucks a few weeks ago on primetime, and they lost in overtime and really blew that game. They shouldn't. Atlanta should never have won that. Now they're a home dog against Atlanta. That potential maybe, but if I'm putting money down, it's the Commanders.
I liked that too, except for the fact that their 2 greatest receivers are out now. So I backed away.
Yeah.
Joey?
Yeah, I went the same as I did not copy off Craig's sheet, but the same thing. I thought the same exact thing that Commanders Sunday. Jaden's still questionable. He could play, but I don't think he will. He's week to week.
Right.
The rib injury. He did not look like he was comfortable. But I think they realize they're fine with Mariota. Again, I think the market's overreacting in this spot. It is to scare me for the bye week and just having that ability to prepare extra, but I still think the Commanders outpower Caleb on Sunday.
I like it. All right, guys, it's time to build your 3-leg anytime touchdown scorer parlay. Craig builds one, Joey builds one. We see if one cashes. Craig, start us off.
So I was on a call yesterday, and a couple of the execs said, please don't pick my players on them because they get injured or they get suspended, they leave the game, and you ruined my fantasy team. So, in honor of Joey's favorite disco band of the 1970s, the Bee Gees, I'm calling this one Tragedy.
Oh, boy,
Tragedy.
okay.
Great song. Yeah, because most of these end up on injured reserve, leave the game, or suspensions. I mean, you've had Ayuk, you had Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, God.
You're single-handedly destroying the 49ers season. So I'm going with, in honor of the Bee Gees, Brian Robinson, Bijan Robinson, and Jameer Gibbs.
Okay.
All right.
And I'll buy you a coffee if you know why. You don't, do you? You're not old enough?
I don't.
Okay.
I went with Cortland Sutton, Denver.
Injured.
Playing. Is he injured?
No, he will be Sunday.
Oh, he will be. Yeah. Saquon
Don't
Barkley.
scare him. Barkley.
Get him out of there.
Eagles
Yeah.
season over.
Caleb Williams to
Okay.
He has that. This was supposed to be the Jaden game, so they're going to be talking about that. He wants the spotlight. He's going to find a way to run.
Oh, yeah, we
away.
were talking about that a couple weeks ago.
I love that angle.
Right.
And I think Mariota, he's running a few over the years.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Mariota might run one in as well.
For sure. All right, are you guys ready for an overreaction or not?
Yeah.
Overreaction or not, the Steelers will win the AFC North.
Overreaction. Ravens are once again the class of the AFC, but with their offense this time. Hats off to Joe Harbaugh.
And you wrote them off, didn't you?
I did write them up. They're 0-2.
Not an overreaction, only
Ooh.
because of injuries. There's still
Yeah.
a long way to go in this season.
Yeah.
Baltimore are doing exactly what they did last year. It's tough to see past the Ravens, but you're only an injury away.
Yeah.
Would I bet the Steelers personally to win the division? No. But would I bet the Ravens at -$4 or $5? No. So, not an overreaction.
Okay. Overreaction or not, Jared Goff will win MVP.
That's not an overreaction. And we were discussing this on Sunday night when we were revising the MVP odds.
Yeah.
He feels like he's come from nowhere, but he's been here, and that team is great.
Absolutely.
Second in completion percentages, 9th in yards, 10th in touchdowns. Leads the league in yards per attempt. 2 game-winning drives, and 2 fourth quarter comebacks, and most important stat of all, 5 wins.
Yeah, that's important. I got not overreaction as well. All week long, it was talked about how Jared Goff won't be able to handle the Vikings pressure. He handled it fine, and he played through it and played lights out.
Yeah.
Lions are a big contender for the Super Bowl, and Jared Goff putting this team on his back will certainly add to his chances to win MVP.
I like it. Overreaction or not, the Jets are cooked.
This is my favorite question every week. No, it's not an overreaction. When the schedule came out in the middle of the year, and we were all separately trying to put our ratings together and get all 18 weeks out for the season, every time I tried to get the Jets higher in my ratings, I couldn't get them up. No matter how much I tried to fudge numbers, and I adjusted down the Ravens, still couldn't get the Jets competitive. I had them nowhere near the 10.5 Joey put up.
Yeah.
So they were cooked the minute Joey put 10.5 wins up on the season wins.
They were cooked in
Yeah.
preseason.
Big time. Yeah, not overreaction. Devontae stomped his feet, got his way. They fired the coach unnecessarily. Rodgers cannot undo the Jets' curse. They're toast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Overreaction or not, the Ravens will have both the MVP and the Offensive Player of the Year this season.
No, I don't think it's overreaction. You got Lamar out there
Ooh.
as lead blocker for Derrick Henry going down the sideline. Just fun.
That's
fun. Yeah, the
not
Ravens.
smart.
Yeah, it was not smart, but fun. And the Ravens are very scary right now, so absolutely I could see that happening.
I looked historically to see if it had ever happened.
Right.
It hasn't, but I don't think it had.
No.
But a team has won the MVP and Offensive Player of the Year, but it was the same player multiple times. Mahomes was the last one 6 years ago.
Yeah.
It's possible. And I mean, Derrick Henry's favourite for Offensive Player of the Year, and Lamar's second favourite for MVP.
He's favorite now.
Favourite
Favorite
now.
now,
Yeah,
Favorite now?
After the Monday night, yeah.
No surprise.
After, that performance.
And the broadcast was complaining, well, Derrick Henry looks at, why is he not on the field? Why is he not on the field? Don't need to be.
Right.
Yeah. Why does he need to be?
Yeah.
And he's still got 153 yards.
Absolutely. Overreaction or not, the Jags should relocate to London. Craig?
There are 22 football stadiums in London. So not an overreaction, because while you're there, you can take the Panthers, the Raiders, and the Browns with you.
Send them all?
Send them all.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I said not overreaction. I think the logistics would be painful.
Yeah.
Every season you'd have to find a way, kind of weird way of like travel. Like, do they come here for 4 weeks? Like, it's difficult, but this might get the Jags the edge that they need to win games. So, not an overreaction.
There used to be a league called the World League of American Football, and it was a couple of teams one in England, one in Scotland, a few in Germany, and a few in Spain, and Orlando. And they worked it out so Orlando got the schedule so they could play so many games on the road. Then the other teams went the opposite way.
Yeah, that sounds awful.
It's look, it's a 6-7 hour flight.
Yeah. Overreaction or not, the Chiefs are winning despite Patrick Mahomes.
Not an overreaction.
Finally.
He keeps his interception streak of at least one every game this season, going back to a couple of games into the end of last year. The defense is obviously the key here. Mahomes only needs to win one game, and that's the game in February.
Yeah.
Just keep them competitive, win enough games. You're in an easy division anyway. The defense is third in points allowed. They've played far tougher schedules than the Steelers and the Bears have faced, and they're above the Chiefs in defensive ratings. And now they've traded for DeAndre Hopkins, so the rich get richer.
I have a slight overreaction. I think it's despite is a really strong word. Is Mahomes playing the best football of his career? No.
It's actually his worst season.
It is his worst season.
He's got baby number 3 on the way, though, hasn't he? So he's obviously distracted.
Maybe he's distracted. And I don't want to go all Collinsworth on this podcast, but he plays each week and puts him in winning position. For instance, that 33-yard run led him down the field. It was 12-14, led to a Mahomes rushing touchdowns. I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid that Mahomes is holding back the Chiefs. They're 6-0.
I will say I absolutely could not stand that run. And I was watching the TV and I go, this is why defenders get upset when they get flagged, when they push someone out of bounds.
There is a point there.
You can't do that.
And not only that, he lowered his shoulder on a defender after that.
Yeah. So that gets me riled up. I feel like I have to be team defense on that one.
Cam Newton used to do that all the time. Run on the sideline, step out last second and draw the 15. It's terrible. Like if it's unsportsmanlike.
Yeah. I understand the defensive thought of like, you just have to. I can't.
But hang on. If you're going to get 15 yards, hit him and hit him really hard. Then he won't do it again.
Yeah, but then the NFL's coming back
with
a big fine.
A big fine, yeah.
You hurt their boy.
You're a football player. You can afford the check.
I was like yelling at my TV at that play.
It drives me nuts.
It's same. Okay, let's get into a weather watch. Craig, any games that are on Craig's weather watch this weekend?
Not a lot, actually. NFL,
it's
going to be cold and wet in Seattle, as usual. College, very hot, unseasonably, in Oklahoma State, Baylor, West Virginia, Arizona. And it will be wet and windy, Illinois and Oregon, which is why I liked Illinois.
Okay, let's get into our NFL game previews. Vikings versus Rams on Thursday Night Football. Vikings are coming off of a close loss to the Lions to ruin their undefeated record. And the Rams are coming off a much-needed win to the Raiders. Craig, what should we expect?
I make the Vikings a heavier favourite, but I'm level with the total. And now here comes a load of contradictory stats. Primetime road favourites are 7-2 straight up and 6-3 against the spread. The first 2 losses were the Steelers and the Cardinals breaking that streak this week. The Vikings are 5-1 against the spread. Rams are 1-5 against the spread. All NFC road favourites are 9-3 straight up, 8-4 against the spread. The Vikings went up against arguably probably the cream of the NFC last week. So and you lost on the last seconds. There's no shame in losing that game. The Rams comfortably had the Raiders until late. Feels like a great bounce back spot for the Vikings. But teams coming off playing the Lions. Rams the week after lost 41-10. Bucks the week after lost 26-7. Cardinals the week after lost 42-14. Seahawks the week after lost 29-20 to the Giants. And the Giants haven't put 29 points up all year.
Interesting.
The Cowboys got a bye week, so they got lucky. And now the Vikings get to control this pattern. So I'm, as much as I liked the Vikings going into Thursday night, I'm off this now.
You're saying there might be a Lions curse that we need to keep an eye on.
You're playing physical teams.
Yeah.
Seattle used to be the team. You used to play Seattle. They played so physical that it took so much out of you, and it's a short week. So the physicality of Detroit, divisional matchup, you leave everything on the line. Yeah.
Joey?
Yeah, I like the Rams a little bit in this spot. short
would.
week. Cooper
That's your
Cup
team,
coming
right?
back. It is my team. But I think they're kind of wanting to build, like, this is where if you steal a win here, you got Cooper coming back, you got Puka coming back, you got the offensive line coming back. This is where they can kind of build upon the momentum and kind of have that little streak to make that strive for the playoffs. Are they going to do it? Probably not. But I think that this is a good spot, especially with the Vikings falling. I think that's going to affect mentally at least Sam Darnold, and just kind of we'll see if they can move past that Lions loss faster than what they would expect to, because they were all the way up there and now they were kind of brought down. Oh, there's the Vikings, you remember. So we'll see if they build upon that one way or if it throws off Darnold. We'll see.
And I know it's a different team, different quarterback, but they did have that giant fall last time that they got defeated after that big undefeated run. I forget how many it was, but they lost quite a few in a row. Next up, Eagles, Bengals. Both teams have won back-to-back games. Joey, which team makes it to a third straight win?
Yeah, both these teams had kind of different weeks last week. The Bengals got the opening kickoff touchdown, but were outgained by the Browns throughout the game and almost had to seal the game with the onside kick recovery at the end. The Eagles dominated the Giants on the offense with the Barkley reunion. This is a big game for both teams as the Bengals are desperate to keep the wins coming in so that they can make that push to playoffs. And, they got the Ravens breathing down their neck and kind of running away with it. I expect the Bengals to get back into their offensive form this week and get the win and cover.
This is my Super Bowl preview. I picked the Eagles preseason, and I picked the Bengals 3 weeks in. It doesn't feel like a Super Bowl preview, though, does it? Because neither team are great. NFC at AFC home favourites are 2-8 against the spread, so not great. Eagles are 0-4-1 all time straight up in Cincinnati. I'm on the fence.
Right there.
The Bengals didn't look great, but the Eagles were very, very motivated last week.
Yeah, they were. Big
yeah, definitely. Okay, next up we have Sunday Night Football, Cowboys versus 49ers. Again, neither team has really lived up to the expectations so far this season, but the 49ers, like we mentioned, have been riddled with injuries, adding Ayuk again to the list. What should we expect from this, Craig?
Hopefully an under. Sunday Night Football unders are 6-1. We always need an under on a Sunday night and Monday night for the book.
Yeah.
All NFC matches, the home favourites are 15-8 over. Not good for us. Talk about Super Bowl hangover, though. I mean, the 49ers, what else can go wrong? All they need is Joey just to pick another touchdown score on their team and their season's over. You get the feeling that this is Dallas's season now. If they lose, they're going to be too far back between Washington and Philadelphia, and you're falling back in the wild card race because the NFC North, potentially we talked about it last week, all four teams can make the playoffs. But you know what the most important thing about this is? Joey just still thinks Shanahan's the best coach in the league.
He'll find a way. The 49ers are in shambles. We keep waiting for them week in, week out to show out, and they don't. But the NFL schedule gods came through, gave them the Cowboys at home on Sunday night. A player I have high expectations for and liked him preseason. He had some trouble. Ricky Pearsall. He's going to take the reins for Ayuk. I think he's really going to show out and come to play 49ers by $1 billion in this one.
By $1 billion.
By $1 billion.
All right, mic drop. Next up, we have Monday Night Football, Giants-Steelers. The Steelers, like we said, looked really good, especially in that second half against the Jets. And the Giants are, well, the Giants. What should we expect from this matchup, Joey?
The easy part of the schedule ends for the Steelers, so they're going to want to really take advantage of this one going into the bye and Russ getting more passing reps. The Giants made mistakes by pulling Danny Dimes in the fourth quarter last game. I think he was clearly upset. He voiced his frustration. So maybe we get dark Danny Dimes this week. He's got a chip on his shoulder against TJ Watt. I doubt it. But Giants need to win badly, but I think the Steelers just have too much momentum coming in this game. I think the Steelers get it done.
This is another game with the NFC at AFC and the home favourite, 2-8 against the spread. So not good for the Steelers on the spread. It's almost a touchdown, 6.5, is it?
Yeah.
The Giants are 6-1 to the under this year. It's the under I like. The Giants' offense averaged 14 points per game. Only Miami are worse. 29 of those came against the Seahawks, and they got a blocked field goal touchdown, so you can take 7 of those points off. So in reality, they're averaging less than 14 points a game. The Steelers don't give up more than 14. That's second to the Chargers. If it goes from what I saw Sunday, I can't see the Giants competing, but who knows?
Yeah.
Steelers are very, very good on Sunday.
Yeah, right. All right, guys. Well, let's get into our weekly picks. Craig, do you want to give us a rundown of where we're all standing?
Okay, here we go. Another 0-2 week for me. It's a good job I'm better at other things than picking picks. I am 4-10 for the year. Cindy is 8-5 and 1. You got to push, and Joey is 10-4. Now, if you'd have listened to the picks and followed both of your picks, you'd be ahead 26% profit. To
pretty good.
It's pretty good for you
Yeah.
too. So I bring it down to a measly 2.4% profit. So I'll just keep you real. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's where we stand.
I like it. Craig, do you want to start us off with your game picks of the week?
Yeah.
All right.
Cards Dolphins under 46.5. That is the most ridiculous number I've seen all year. Yeah, I mean, even if he comes back and plays on Sunday, he's going to be ring rusty.
Yeah.
And then I've got to take the bounce back. I've got to take Texas over Vanderbilt.
We're on the opposite of that game. I'm going to go with Vandy. I'm playing with house money here.
Yeah, of course you will.
I believe in Diego Pavia. It's almost a joke we do in every week, where last week we all went against Vandy because it's against Ball State, and they don't care about. And sure enough, they didn't cover that game. They were down early. Just makes no sense. But they got their eyes on this game. I'm going to go with my heart. Diego Pavia to cover the 19. NFL-wise, I'm going over in the Commanders-Bears game. I think that's going to be a shootout. A lot of these 43 games have been pretty good to me. So I think they're just overlooking the power of Kingsbury and that offense, and also the Bears being able to prepare and especially wanting to show out on offense, take advantage of that Commanders defense.
All right. I'm going LSU plus 2.5. I'm also going with my heart. And Craig, so sorry for this, but I'm going Cowboys 49ers over 46.5.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Well, that will do it for this week of Talking with Our Traders. Thanks for tuning in. Guys, anything to say before we end?
Here's to another 2-0 week for you two, so good luck.
Bless.
Yeah, good luck to everybody.
Good luck. All right. Bye.
Bye.